This week I had a few appointments to go to in Glasgow and Edinburgh, and I didn't film a proper intro to this video because I wasn't really planning on doing a vlog, but sometimes when I'm out and about I end up just filming things, so I just thought I'd put this together because I never actually do anything. So because I've been out of the house for once, I thought I would do like a vlog video, like the saddest vlog ever. So here we go. One place that I always go when I'm in Glasgow is Argyll Arcade. I have got an obsession with jewellery. I like to go here and look at all the opals and plan on what I'm going to buy when I'm a millionaire. If you're visiting Glasgow and you're looking for an engagement ring or just a piece of jewellery that's going to blow your mind, this is where you have to go. Especially if you like opals. Obviously there's a lot of diamonds, but in my opinion diamonds are like the tackiest thing that's ever existed because they're just everywhere and I'm sick of looking at them. But check out these opals, oh, they're amazing. Even if you're not that into jewellery, you can walk through Argyll Arcade to get out the rain for a little bit until you come out at the other side of the street. So after that I went to Primark, and in Scotland most people call this Primark, but I'm just going to say Primark because I can't be bothered with people moaning at me. But I was so excited to go here because I hadn't been for ages, and the stuff was so bad. Like, I love the Disney clothes and everything, but as you can see everything was like powder pink, beige, white. It was an absolute disgrace. I mean, there wasn't any colour there whatsoever. I really don't know what the world is coming to, it's depressing. The only thing that I ended up buying was a pair of purple Care Bear socks. After that I went into this shop on Queen Street, and for the life of me I can't remember the name of it. It wasn't Forbidden Planet because I wasn't in Sucky Hall Street, but I was just having a look to see if there was anything interesting. And this shop is nowhere near as good as Forbidden Planet, but I just like to have a look round and see if they've got anything mind-blowing. I had another wee look in a pawn shop at some of the opal jewellery. After my appointment I decided to go back into town and get something to eat. So the person I was with wanted to go to Viva, which is an Italian restaurant. I had never been here before and I can basically eat anywhere, so I was happy to try it out. If you've watched any of my vlogs before, it'll be no surprise that when I go to an Italian restaurant, I always get bruschetta as a starter. It's a must. However, this time I decided to try the steak because I wanted to do something a little bit different. Overall, there was nothing wrong with the food, but what I will say is, there was one waiter in particular who had amazing customer service. He was coming up and he was being really friendly and getting ready to take her order and everything. And then when he walked away, this other waiter came up and took the orders and brought us drinks, and I felt as if he was like really poaching that guy's customers because the other staff in there's customer service wasn't that good and we could totally see what they were up to. Dinner for two came to about £85, so the next day I went to the bingo with my friend. I got a hot dog with bacon and cheese and we both got chocolate cake. So this is totally random, but I used to go to the bingo all the time when it was gala. And one of the main reasons that me and my friend used to go to bingo is because we loved the food. So after it got brought over by Buzz and then we started going, obviously there was COVID, right, so they reduced the menu. And the menu used to be so good. They used to have chicken curry, their burgers were always amazing, their cakes were amazing. Like, we totally looked forward to going to this like maybe twice a month. But they've reduced the menu so much. And every time, I feel like every time you go and you order a cake, they've forgot to take it out the freezer. They've literally got 3 desserts, right? So that's one of the reasons why I don't really go to the bingo much anymore. And also, it's the prizes are crap. And it's just not as good when the food's not as good. But another thing that I can't stand is that they've got paper straws, right? And I know it's for the environment or whatever. And I do have my own straws that I can take out with me, but sometimes I forget. And I was sitting drinking my juice and I wasn't even halfway down my juice. Normally I take the paper straw out and sit it on top of the glass. And I had been doing that, and then when I was drinking, it was like slurping as if there was like a hole in my straw, and I pulled it out and my whole straw had unravelled. And it's just disgusting. Like, you can get biodegradable plastic straws. Anyway, I went and I won £100, so I halved it with the person I was with. So we basically won our money back for the bingo. Later on that week, I had time after an appointment, so I went to the bingo again. I won £100 again, and I halved it with the person I was with, so we won the money back. And then I was at the bingo tonight, and I won £100 again, so basically I got 3 nights out for free. So the other night when I was out, they had actually remembered to take the cake out the freezer and defrost it. So me and Demi were really excited about getting this chocolate fudge cake because it's the only one on the menu that's even half decent. She got hers with ice cream and I got custard. And they brought the cake out at the same time as the main, right? So obviously like, the ice cream was a bit melted, whatever the custard was cold with skin on it by the time we were eating it. And then when we actually went to eat the cake, it was like, you know how when you chop cake, you're supposed to cover it? It was as if it hadn't been covered and all the side bit of the cake was like solidly hard. And she had been looking forward to this because she's been cutting down a lot on her food. And she was looking forward to eating this cake and she couldn't even eat it. I ended up eating most of mine because it had custard on it. So the hard bit wasn't as bad. But even then, like, it was so bad. Anyway, back to the video. I just wanted to complain that the bingo food now is a vast disappointment. They really need to fix it. This was the state of my straw. I had my drink for about 5 minutes. I've got an appointment in Edinburgh today and there's still ice on the ground for last night's snow. And I am literally crapping myself. I didn't even wear my Gore-Tex trainers because I thought I would be okay. And then as soon as I walked out the house, my foot slid like 1 millimetre. And then I nearly took a heart attack. If it ends up snowing the day, like one snowflake, I could literally take a heart attack and die. My appointment isn't till 3 o'clock, so I was looking up to see if there was anything to do in Edinburgh before I went to it. And I discovered that there's a Salvador Dali painting in Edinburgh and it's one that's on my bucket list. It's my second favourite of all time. It's the exploding head. And I'm so excited to see it that I think I might actually cry. I've already seen my third favourite in Glasgow a few times. And my first favourite is Swans Reflecting Elephants, but that's in Madrid. So now we just need to manifest the trip there. But this is going to be so emotional. The painting was in the Edinburgh Museum of Modern Art and I actually can't stand modern art. Half the time I think it's a complete joke. But the museum was free and to be fair, even if you had to pay into it, I still would have paid in just to see this Salvador Dali painting. Had this been almost any other type of museum, I would have been looking forward to seeing the other things more, but let's face it, modern art is a joke half the time. However, as you can see, outside the museum is pretty beautiful. It would have been even nicer if it hadn't been freezing outside. So I went in and I was looking for the Salvador Dali painting for ages. I ended up finding the mini sculpture, which is a recreation of a phone from one of his paintings. So you would think that the other Salvador Dali stuff would be in that room, but no, they had it on a completely different floor. This was the phone. I was completely underwhelmed by this, but I know that some people might be into it. So I carried on looking for the painting and I was starting to get nervous that it had been moved because it's the only real reason that I went to this museum. When I first seen this chair I absolutely hated it, but then I realised it had a tail and it was speaking to me. So I was going to post more of this museum, but you can let me know if you're even interested to see that because this is literally pictures of somebody throwing a rock up into the air with a string attached to it. Seriously. And it costs a lot of money. So finally I decided to take a look upstairs and I found it. And it was as emotional as I thought it would be. Look at how amazing this is. That is just so spectacular. I'm probably never going to go over this moment. I was planning on just voiceovering this bit, but it's still annoying me to my very core. When you go to Glasgow to see the Salvador Dali painting, it's in its own room. The room's all black. Then they've got the big crucifix painting and there's a light shining on it and you can just sit and look at it. So I was expecting this Salvador Dali painting to be like in a place where you could just sit and look at it, or for it to be in like a special place in the museum, right? But they just had it on the wall. They didn't have anything else around it protecting it. Some of the paintings had like a wee string thing in front of it so that you couldn't walk near it or anything. And this painting was just on the wall with the other paintings as if like nothing. So I was a bit confused, right? So then I turned round and obviously it was in the room for just like modern art, like whatever kind of art it was, surrealism or whatever. And I turned round and straight across it, there was a Picasso and there was another Picasso next to it. And I thought, somebody, right, I don't care what kind of art it's meant to be, somebody has decided to put 2 Salvador Dali paintings up on a wall in the same room as Picasso paintings. As if Picasso deserves to be in the same room as Salvador Dali's art. I know that many people wouldn't care, right, it's just a painting or whatever, but it really bothered me. It's obviously still bothering me. Like, it's just hanging there next to Picasso's, as if Picasso has got talent. I may never get over that, but anyway, back to the museum. This was one of the Picasso so-called works of art that was on the wall near the Salvador Dali paintings. This was the other Salvador Dali painting. Okay, it's not great, but it's still better than Picasso. This was the other Picasso painting. That was supposed to be a portrait of somebody. Imagine you sat down to get your portrait done, and that's what they handed you. I hope that she wasn't paying him, because you'd be like, is this a joke? Like, I don't even understand him whatsoever. That being said, as I was walking around the gallery, he's certainly not the worst modern artist out there. Check this out. This was a painting with elephant dung on it. People come up with these things, and then people that have got too much money buy them. And that's all it's about, it's just pretentious stupidity. It certainly wasn't all bad. The Modern Art Gallery in Glasgow is way worse. So after this we still had a little bit of time before we caught the train. And we went to the event across the road, which was about the person who made like Clash of the Titans and stuff like that. This one wasn't free, this was £12 in. It was telling you all about his life, how he became inspired, and how he started making animations in his garage and stuff like that. Again, I've got a whole load of videos from this event. If you're interested in seeing that, I can post it. This was my favourite part. I used to watch Clash of the Titans all the time when I was young. And then when we walked into this room and I seen the owl, I was totally freaking out because that was the best character in the whole film. Even though I've seen the making of these films before, it was really cool to go in and see the actual figures. And it's so crazy to think about how much time was spent moving all of these characters, like changing their heads, moving their faces, like moving them about, and then filming everything on green screen. So much effort went into it. And now when they make films, everything's just green screen and that's that. There's hardly any effort put into it at all. But anyway, this is just some of the event, and it was actually really good. I think if you're interested in this sort of thing, I don't think that £12 was too expensive. On the way back, we went into this lovely graveyard. I used to love going walks in graveyards, but I haven't had time, or I haven't been feeling well enough to go out walks, so even though it was freezing cold, I just love walking about graveyards and looking at all the fancy headstones. I ended up taking quite a lot of videos just walking around Edinburgh, but I videoed them vertically, so I'll be posting them on TikTok. After my appointment, we had time to go for dinner, so we went for a buffet in a place called China Red, and it was actually really good. The stuff tasted different from other Chinese buffets, and the price was actually quite reasonable. If you're looking for a Chinese buffet in Edinburgh, I definitely think you should check it out. And they had a really good selection of food. So that was that. I had been planning on going into Glasgow or Edinburgh and like filming around Primark and TK Maxx and then coming back and doing a haul video. But Primark was just so diabolical. There's no way that I could spend my life wearing cream and white and like dusky pink or whatever it's called. It's just so disgusting. I bought a couple of stripy t-shirts that I always buy. And then when I was in TK Maxx, I got this t-shirt, which everybody basically hates, and that just makes me like it even more. If you would like to see any of the videos of me walking around like Edinburgh and that, I'm just probably going to post them on TikTok in short segments, because I know some people like watching videos like that. I know that that's not the most exciting vlog, but it's the most stuff that I've done for months, because I haven't been leaving the house other than to go to appointments, so that's the best I've got. Hopefully I'll come up with something better soon. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, consider subscribing. Don't forget to check out my TikTok if you want to see more of me. Thanks for watching. Bye!